My name is Kathryn Leslie. I grew up in Iowa. I went to college for a while. My major was art, but I didn't think I would make a career in art, so I stopped going to school. And then moved to Illinois, had a couple kids, and now I work in IT. But I started back in my art when my daughter was a baby 13 years ago, and decided on embroidery because it was kind of a new medium to me, and there was a lot of options for it. The pieces I have are all historical images. They range from like the 1500s until the 80s. They're just either kind of grotesque things that I found interesting and thought would look interesting embroidered, because that's always kind of classically a pretty medium. And then I've got some pop culture things from the 60s and the 80s, just things that I thought would translate well to through a thread. A lot of times it's images that I see, for this show anyway, they're images that kind of catch my eye, that are either like old and kind of grotesque, I guess, just kind of eye-catching because they're so off-putting. And so I do them in embroidery because, like I said, that's always been kind of a pretty medium. You know, it's always done on dresses and tablecloths and stuff, or just bright graphic things from the 60s and 70s and 80s. I like that stuff too. Things that aren't typically, they're almost too modern for embroidery. But it just depends on the image, just different things I like. I think they've all been kind of found images that I've like translated into embroidery. There's a few that I did myself. I do have other ones that I've done that are like original drawings, but most of these are ones that I've retranslated, I guess. A lot of times I'll leave the work in the embroidery hoop, so it accentuates the medium. I will frame some things sometimes, but a lot of times, like I have a few that are kind of like old-timey medical procedures that are kind of gross, and so I think that image on fabric in an embroidery hoop, really, there's kind of like a contrast between the kind of grossness of the subject with the traditional presentation of the hoop and the fabric. I don't see a lot of fiber art as in different shows that I've gone to. I'll see a piece here or there, but I really want to show people that it is a viable medium, you know, that it is art, that it's not just grandma crafts, you know, and I think that it's a medium that can have an impact on people, but it's not one that they typically think of when they think of art. You think of painting or, you know, drawing or that kind of thing, but I think it's just as valuable as any of those other kind of mediums. For me, it was kind of a new thing because, like I said, I had started out as an art major and I was a painter, but to me there wasn't anything, nothing inspired me to paint because I kind of felt like it had all been done, where when I kind of found embroidery, it was like, well, this hasn't been done yet, and the kind of images that I wanted to do, or, you know, the kind of like my own drawings or whatever. It's kind of old, but kind of new. It's, you know, it's been around forever, but there's not a lot of fiber artists around. I think it's gaining more popularity, but it's still kind of not quite as common. I hope that when somebody sees my art, they realize that embroidery is more than just unicorns and puppies and tablecloths and that kind of stuff, and that it can be a modern medium that's not just, you know, for grandmas. That you can do a lot more with thread than I think historically has been done.